If you suddenly found somebody else's name on your accounts and taking your mail, you'd probably figure your identity had been stolen.
But a Sacramento woman found what happened to her is legal and could happen to nearly anybody. Curtis Ming is back with more. He's been looking into this.
Well, Mary Jane Mann tried to do things right. She worked and saved for decades for an active and comfortable retirement. But now she says a little understood part of the court system is being used to deprive her of her rights, her happiness, and her property.
To feel that I'm a prisoner. Why am I a prisoner? Because they want to steal my money. That's all it's about. That's all it's about.
Mary Jane Mann is angry, but she says she's also terrified.
I wake up crying at night. I just can't believe this is happening.
The Heart Endowment Trust.
After decades running nonprofit organizations and volunteering in every community in which she's lived, Mary Jane says she's managed a comfortable retirement. But this spry 86-year-old now keeps her front gate padlocked against people she says are trying to steal her rights as an American and her nest egg.
Come to the front door, they just push themselves in.
Mary Jane says the people threatening her don't wear masks or carry guns. They wear suits, drive nice cars, and have turned a law designed to protect seniors and the disabled into a club.
They said because papers have been filed that you are incompetent.
But nothing in Mary Jane's record indicates she's incompetent. Her work, volunteer, and investment history show a track record of solid competence. And since this all started, her doctors have tested her and certified she's sound.
I'm not incompetent. I haven't committed any crime. It's just that someone's trying to steal my money and make me incompetent.
So who's doing this and how?
She's not allowed to leave. She's not allowed to sell her house.
Carol Kelly is Mary Jane's oldest daughter. Her mom called her in from North Carolina to help figure out what's happening to her. Mary Jane says when she talked about moving to North Carolina near Carol, a younger daughter, Monica, who lives in the Bay Area, went to an attorney. Mary Jane says Monica apparently worried about being left out of her mom's trust.
She didn't want me to ever leave California. I hardly ever see her.
The case ended up with a Sacramento fiduciary appointed by emergency court order to be Mary Jane's conservator, basically taking over her life. But Mary Jane wasn't told about the hearing to decide her future. She found out the hard way.
Got a bank statement, and I found this person's name on my bank statement.
That conservator is Carolyn Young, who says she's handling about 100 conservatorships right now. Without Mary Jane's knowledge, Young had taken over her bank accounts, investments, and her trust. Mary Jane suddenly found her mail routed to Young's office and her driver's license lifted. 3,000 miles away, Carol Kelly was alarmed.
She called me and she said, Carol, I've got my statement here. Someone took $30,000 out of my account. How did this happen?
It turned out Mary Jane's personal trust was paying for every legal maneuver aimed at taking her control of her life. And there seemed to be little she could do about it, because that's the power a conservator is given by the court. The court can appoint a conservator when somebody can no longer take care of themselves or their affairs, but it is only supposed to happen without the person's knowledge in an emergency. So how did this petition get drafted, appointing Carolyn Young Mary Jane's conservator? Monica Mann and Carolyn Young both deny starting this process. They point the finger squarely at Sacramento County Adult Protective Services. Carolyn Young gave us this confidential report by an APS investigator. It recommends Mary Jane Mann be conserved because she suffers from, quote, memory impairment and possibly dementia. The report also paints a picture of Carol Kelly as a possible threat to her mother.
The petition said that an emergency order had to be a conservatorship because I was going to kidnap my mother and take her out of state. I mean, these are wild accusations.
The county wouldn't talk about its investigation because it's supposed to be confidential. But this report cites only 2 actual sources for all its conclusions about Carol Kelly being a threat to her mom. A local attorney who ended up representing Mary Jane and Mary Jane's daughter, Monica. Carol Kelly says the investigator never talked to her and refused to take her phone calls once the report was issued.
They just want to destroy me, that's all. And in some ways they are.
The report includes a series of emails, test results, and doctors' conclusions, it says, back up the idea Mary Jane may be developing dementia. But in fact, the doctors conclude While Mary Jane does have some memory loss, she's fine otherwise. Quote, no signs either by history or on exam of a significant neurodegenerative cognitive disorder. And judgment and higher-level cortical function appear intact, and patient is traveling without difficulty. Patient lives alone without difficulty. Thus, her executive function appears intact. Mary Jane has since undergone 2 more exams. Both show she is quite competent.
Who does this? What's happened to our system?
Mary Jane Mann's temporary conservatorship was terminated last year, but she says she was pressured into signing a letter that keeps Carolyn Young on her trust as co-trustee. She also says Young has taken at least $60,000 out of that trust without adequate accounting. Mary Jane has now hired another attorney to get that agreement thrown out.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
Wish her the best, though. She seems a really nice lady, and she seems sharp.
Yeah, what an investigation, Curtis. Thank you.
Well, if you have a consumer problem you can't solve, maybe I can. Call the hotline Monday through Friday or go to CBS13.com, click on Call Curtis, and fill out the form.